Hello everyone, welcome back to StrikePro. In this video, we're going to learn how to create a singles tournament within the app. So let's get started. As you can see, we're back at the main tournament dashboard for StrikePro. All you would need to do is click on this Create Tournament button. And as you can see, we're brought to a screen here. Well, let's go ahead and make this a little larger so you can see it better. There we go. As you can see, we have this new Create Tournament modal. And we have 4 different toggles at the top. You've got a basic toggle, a format toggle, a divisions toggle, and a side action toggle. Okay. We're going to just focus on basic and format for now. We'll cover divisions and side action later. So we're going to go ahead and put in my first tournament. Okay. I'll go ahead and pick today's date, and we'll pick the bowling center. Now, we did create the National Bowling Stadium in an earlier video, so we're going to go ahead and use that. Lane pattern. So you have some select lane patterns in here if you created any. There won't be any in here by default when you created a tournament, so you have to go ahead and add one by clicking the plus sign here. We'll just call this a 36-foot house shot. Okay, and as you can see, you can now choose your 36-foot house shot. If you want to set a number of max entries for the tournament, you can go ahead and enter that here. We're just going to leave it unlimited for now. We're going to go ahead and click on the Format tab. All right. Okay. Now, within the Format tab, you've got a whole host of options in here. We're going to start with from top to bottom. That's what I'd recommend when creating a tournament. Is you select your tournament format first. In this particular video, we're going to select the singles. And then you move on to scoring format. As you can see, we have both a scratch and a handicap format. You can't choose both at the same time. I'll go into that in a minute. So in this particular event, we're going to choose handicap. Okay. And then down below, you have handicap settings. Now, this will show regardless if you choose scratch or handicap. If you choose scratch, and you set handicap settings here, this handicap settings applies to optional divisions, any type of side action, anything. If you decide to enable a handicap option in a scratch tournament, this handicap will be used across the entire app. Okay. Now you can also set a max handicap. This would only apply specifically for the actual tournament, main tournament format. So we'll call this up here, main tournament, just for clarification. So we're going to set this to, let's say, 40 pins, okay, for a max handicap. And we'll call that per game. All right, now tournament settings. This is where you would set your games per bowler. We're going to say there's 4 games per bowler. And for lane movement, we have 1 pair to the right, 2 pairs to the right. You can even choose no movement. We're just going to stick with 1 pair to the right. Now, for the entry fees and director fees, this is where you would enter the total fee entry. So let's say we're going to charge $60 to enter the tournament. And whatever arrangement you have with the house for lineage per game, this is where you'd enter that. So we'll say $225 per game for lineage. And director fee type. Now, we have 3 different options for a director fee type. We've got percentage. So what this means is if you enter, let's say 10% over here in this director fee field, what will happen? It will take 10% of this $60 as a fee for the actual tournament. Now with a flat amount, if you put $10, it's going to be a one-time $10 flat amount director fee, or you can choose to do a per bowler director fee. So in this case, let's just do $1 per bowler. So $59 minus whatever the lineage per game is will also go to the prize fund. Payout configuration, this is where you'd set your payout ratio. So if you're doing a 1 in 3, 1 in 4, 1 in 5, 1 in 6, this is where you'd set that. For this tournament, we're going to do 1 in 3 so we can limit the amount of entries. Now we have distribution method. We have 2. We've got a fixed first place and a fixed decline. So what this means is that if you choose fixed first place and you set a percentage of 25%, that means 25% of the prize fund will be allocated to the first bowler, and then the app will automatically set a decline rate after the 25% based on the payout ratio. Now it's auto-calculated, but don't worry, you will be able to manually override that because I know probably 90-95% of you will probably set your own prize fund. Okay. Now, you also have a fixed decline. So what fixed decline is, it's a step down percentage. So you just set a 15% step down. The app will calculate top to bottom, but it will step down 15%. It may range a little bit based on the ratios. It does some calculations in there. But again, you'll be able to manually override if you choose that option as well. You have a tie policy in here. You've got split evenly, so that means it's say 2 bowlers tie or 3 bowlers tie. The price will just be split evenly for the totals for those 3 spots will be split evenly across those bowlers. And then a leftover policy. So let's say from the prize fund perspective during the calculation, if there's any leftover, let's say 50 cents or $2.25, $2.60, whatever it is, you can choose to add it to the first place prize fund. You can choose to add it to last place, or you can just distribute it evenly across all the bowlers. So nice little feature there. And then lastly, actually 2 last things here. You have show prize fund to breakdown bowlers. So with this toggle on, if I turn this on, what's going to happen is that when a bowler logs into StrikePro in the bowler side of things, they will be able to see not only the scores, but they will also be able to see the prize fund breakdown. Transparency is key. So you have the option to be transparent with your bowlers if you would like. So that is an option. We're going to go ahead and shut it off for now. We'll come back to it later. And then for step ladder finals, so if you are running a tournament where you want to have step ladders, you can go ahead and click this toggle. And as you can see, you have options to set the number of qualifiers. So you have top 2, top 3, top 4, top 5, and so on and so forth. We're just going to do top 3, and then you can set your games per match. So you can do 1 game, 2 game, 3 games, etc. And then we'll get into creating a bracket later after we enter scores and all of those things. So from there, that's all you need to do to create the initial main tournament for StrikePro. I'm going to go ahead and click this Create Tournament button. And there we are. As you can see up here, we're now in my first tournament as this drop down. We're in a draft status. We'll talk about the draft and activate tournament status later. But we're ready to go. So that's it for this video. Let's move on to the next.